everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Aaron Knightley and we're back in central London in Mayfair, where I am joined by Danny Boyle, our owner of Platinum Wave Campervans. And Danny, it's amazing to have you here, to finally get you on. We've been talking for a little while now, and this is going to be another three-part series, and what we're going to dive into is everything from what's needed to start a business, top sort of tips, to actually launch it, capital, the inner workings of actually getting a business up and running. And I'm looking forward to sort of taking some knowledge and insights from yourself and obviously sharing it with the audience, Danny. So thank you very much for joining me on the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So part one, we are going to be talking about the 5 things needed to start a business. So first thing, for anyone watching, might be new, young entrepreneurs looking to start a business, I think 2021 has been a year of everyone moving online, trying to launch something new. So in your experience, Danny, what would be sort of the first thing to get started? So someone's starting to look at business, where do they actually begin?
Well, the first thing is obviously capital. You always need money. Speculate to accumulate, as they say. So personally myself, I started out as a scaffolder. Always wanted to get in to the retail industry, automotive wise, commercial vehicles really. I did look at the idea of like welfare vans, utility vehicles, something that's just more than a van. So obviously there's loads of people that the days of having like one dimension to your business or your product, they seem to have gone. So, more ways to facilitate more customers in one individual industry, if you will. So that was one way. So I thought the first way I could do that was start by buying and selling commercial vehicles. I had a chap, an older family relative, that said he'd be happy to educate me to a certain degree. But I did need my own capital. So to start out, I was working as a scaffolder down here, funny enough, in central London, at the Transport Museum, working for a company called Benchmark Scaffolding. But I built up enough money to be able to do a bit of research of what vans I found were most popular, and then I bought my first vehicle, and then I hoped to buy one, sell it, generate enough profit to buy another until it become feasible for me to be able to base myself from home and work on that full time. So yeah, that was how I built my first bit of capital, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, in the greatest city in the world. I built enough money to buy my first one, and then slowly but surely I thought once although the profit wasn't quite as high in basic panel vans, I thought once I had enough I could then venture down an avenue where welfare vehicles, the ones you see like Network Rail and that sort of stuff. I thought that seems to be where you can generate a bit more profit, a bit more of a niche market, rather than selling to the individual customer, i.e. the builder or something like that. You'd be selling to major companies, much bigger orders. It just builds a more sustainable model when you have,
So what guided you then to go into campervans? And if you haven't checked out Danny's website, it's your website is
platinumwavecampers.com.
Go check it out, and they're unique campervans, and what you're able to do with them is incredible, and you can see why they sell. But what kind of guided you into that? Because I think where there are so many options to start a business, there's an overload feeling of, okay, I want to start, but what model do I go into? So was it about the product, or were you passionate about campervans, or how did you get into it?
I mean, I think everyone's passionate about travel, aren't they? I don't think anyone likes to stay in the same place too long. I think it's about I think campervans give you a massive level of flexibility. I think people, especially in these times of COVID, with travel, airports, security, masks, queues, the ability of 2:30 on a Friday afternoon to decide with you and your other half, so you're going to have 2 or 3 days off. I mean, at the campfires now, there are own Wi-Fi points and stuff like that,
yeah. So
you can literally work from the campervan next to a lake in the Cotswolds. You could be there in 2 hours,
yeah.
Which means no stripping half naked to go through security, and wondering where the kids are, and $14.99 airport breakfast and stuff like that, But yeah, that's the sort of stuff. I actually got into it while I was purchasing vehicles. I was getting my panel vans through 2 or 3 different avenues. One of them was part exchanges from a commercial vehicle dealer, and he said to me, "I've actually got a camper van for sale." So I said, "Yeah," that was the deal we had. I took all the vehicles that he had, came across the camper van. So went online, had a look at them, loved them. I thought, cool, they're amazing, and purchased the vehicle, took pictures of it, and by the time I drove it from his retail outlet in Wolvie, Leicestershire, to mine in Balsall Common, it was sold. It was gone.
That's amazing.
It was. But what perked my eyes and ears up was the level of interest. So it wasn't like 2 or 3 phone calls in a couple of hours. The phone did not stop ringing.
Yeah. So you knew there was a market.
Ring, and then once I obviously pulled over, checked the phone. It was a text message, like WhatsApp. It was like email. And
yeah.
So I went online, and then while I was still selling a few vehicles, I went online and I studied them, had a look at them. I thought, wow. And I just noticed 3 or 4 gaps and holes in the market which no one was really facilitating. I found a general demographic with people that own campervan companies as a whole, and I watched them, studied them, looked at them, and the gaps that I'd seen, they just became bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and more obvious. And I thought,
there's a good takeaway here, and for anyone watching, I think what you saw as well is future vision. So you saw like the growth. So obviously with COVID, you know, what has happened as a result of that? Not many people travelling. So again, you were seeing good gaps.
What a lot of people are saying to us now, I bet your business is booming because of COVID. Our business is no different to any other business with COVID. The majority of people, when this first kicked off, stayed at home, were scared for their lives, didn't want to leave, so we had to then come up with measures and, you know, prove to them, build levels of trust, go that extra mile to say, well, hold on, you can still buy stuff. You know, because the weekend before Boris announced the first lockdown, we had like 95 visitors to our site at the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It was packed. You couldn't move the vehicles. So we were literally we were doing well anyway, but really take off. And the weekend after, we announced a lockdown. And because we're one of the very few companies that will build you a £60,000 campervan on the back of a £1,000 deposit, to the point where you custom build the whole lot on a £1,000 deposit. You know, that deposit is also fully refundable. That's just something else that I've seen other people wouldn't do. And they literally rang up, 25, 30 people. We were only a small business, so 30 people asking for a £1,000 deposit back on the back of a £40,000 to £60,000 project. You can start to do the maths. Hundreds of thousands of pounds in revenue whipped away in 24 hours to a small company in an incredibly fragile time. Do you know what I mean? So people say, "Oh, but no." The answer to the question is we have felt it like everybody else. You could probably say like food outlets. They wouldn't have really felt it maybe because the cost of the products smaller. Like these things are £30,000-40,000 each. You know, some of these, the deal we have is a £1,000 deposit, and then we will go. That deposit becomes non-refundable when we purchase your vehicle. Okay, but we have people that are saying, "Look, I'm about to lose my job." I mean, you have to have a certain level of humility. You know, you've got to understand these people are saying, "I'm about to lose my job, could lose my house. You know, I need that £1,000." You don't know what the £1,000 for. You don't know that they might have lost a job the following week. They could have been self-employed and just like us, but be completely cut off. They need £1,000 for bills, food, water. So even in circumstances where we had their vans, we give the money back. We just gave them the money back, and then we had to come up with ways of how we could obviously abide by the laws, build up trust with the customers. You know, to let them know that you know we're still open, you can still buy the product, and all the ones that didn't take the deposits back, just again get on the phone, speak to them, and try and just do the best you can, like all companies have had to do over the past 18 months, 2 years, to try and level it. But I think once the initial shock was over, and after 4 to 6 weeks, and 8, 12 weeks, whatever it was in lockdown, we're getting more and more conversations with the customers, more and more detail. There was more and more bit of rapport with them, and the confidence was back to 100% quite soon, to be fair.
So I suppose for those that are looking and thinking about a business, for you it's very much customer based. You are really wanting to understand and know the customer.
1,000,000%. So what I've found, what a lot of people especially a lot of startups, it's money. It's right. I've got to make money. Where's the money? I've got
That's
to find
the drive. The money.
Yeah. Especially I have to find out. The money's the most important. You know, how can I make money? It's always money, but they never think about the product. For me, we look at it the other way around.
Yeah.
If you truly believe you can bring change to a marketplace, you can do something completely different, whether it's customer service, whether it's value for money, or if you can take aspects of all of them. Like we're the product. I want to build the very best VW luxury campervan company in the UK. If you compare yourself to the best, you're only ever going to be second.
Yeah.
You know, I was told that by multiple people. I don't want to be second. I want to be the very best.
Yeah.
I like nothing more than when people say, well, you know, I see it online all the time. The service was incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
The product's incredible. Wow. You know, the money's important. Of course it is.
Yeah.
You know, you
that's
look
the
back,
end product.
but if you build anything to a scale, and you build a model where you know after the first year or 2 years that you have got a sustainable amount of profit, you know, but you build on a scale where it's huge and you know your product is the best, the money will follow.
Yeah.
It will follow. So the more passionate you are about providing the very best products, like we're just about to come out now with some state-of-the-art customer journey software, where this is something else that I've noticed. People will go, right, there's £1,000, I want a 50, 60, 70,000 pound camper van, right, there's what I've picked in terms of my interiors, my wheels, I'll see you in 12 weeks. And then poor sods are sat at home thinking,
waiting.
Fingers crossed. Look, you can do it with Ford and Mercedes and Ferrari. I know you can do the custom build, but they're Ford, Mercedes and Ferrari. They've spent how many years building that brand and that trust. People instantly know, because of what they've achieved, that they ain't going to turn up and the car's got no seats, or it's the wrong colour seats. Or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to build that ethos. You need to. We just hired now. We've just took on a national sales coordinator from our local Mercedes. He's been there 10 years. He wasn't cheap, but he's the best. I want my caravan.
Yeah.
You know, when he sold me my car, I want him. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you want to be the very best, you have to act like the very best. You have to look at the product. It ain't always about you constantly short term. Yeah, you probably might make a few quid in 6 to 12 months by constantly focusing always on the money. But if you could build a product that is the best in the country, everybody raves about, and there's a sustainable amount of money at the end of every month. Sooner or later, your brand's,
the money follows.
Yeah, the money will follow.
Yeah.
It will just follow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I've been from day one. We put products in our camper vans when we first started that we probably couldn't have afforded, but we've done it.
Start as you mean to go on is what you've done.
Yeah, just always be, and don't compare yourself to others. But then once you get to a certain level, how I'm going to contradict myself a little bit here. So at the start, there's that old saying, success leaves clues. So when I was looking around when I first started out, I was asking people, and I was going along, who's the best? Who is the best in the country? So I know I've just said, if you compare yourself to the best, you're only going to be second. But when you just start out, success leaves clues. You want to know
who you compete with.
All successful companies have the same habits. Successful people have the same habits. If you go to YouTube and you watch Dan Pena, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Gary Vee, whoever it might be, 10 out of 12 of their most important habits are the same.
Yeah.
So if you go and follow these big companies on what products are they using, what are they putting in their camper vans that you think, and we were going and updating like silly things like hinges, and they're expensive, and but we did it. And that's how we've got from selling one camper van, just one a month. We just sold 33 this month. Do you know what I mean?
So the value there is you're looking, so whatever business you're starting, is to look at what the best are doing and try and achieve that level
just
from
try and give
the off.
people insane value for money to know that product's worth buying, but then stuff like customer service as well. Don't try to have the best product. Yeah. One of the best customer service. This software we're building, there's elements of it when you put your car in for service at Mercedes or something. They go, hi, Tom, this is, whoever it might be, hi Sarah, I am your mechanic of today. That's one bit. We're going whole hog. Yeah. So our new customer journey software From the second the van's purchased, they will see at every single stage of the build, like I said, when they've spent the £60,000, they're not sat at home like, I don't know what's going to turn out like. They can see it. It comes as an email. You know, they're sat there on the sofa. They've got an iPad. They get all these details. They watch it with their kids, and they can see it, and it just gives them that bit of confidence.
That is.
The software is probably 4 years. You know, in terms of being able to, a lot of companies afford it. Probably 3 or 4 years away, but we bought it now.
You've done it now.
Cost a fortune. I'd rather do it now. We will get that back in years to come.
There's huge value there.
Yeah.
And what I would say, as we come to wrap up part one, sort of a 30-second answer in regards to your numbers, so profit and actually watching the business as a whole, staying close to your numbers. Yeah. What's your 30-second sort of take on being really involved in knowing the numbers?
Yeah, well, look, I know what I just said, you know, you can't pay too much attention to the money, but obviously they're crucial. They are crucial, but you have to be as passionate about the product. I mean, I think year 1, year 2, year 3 for us, we've grew 100% every year. Had COVID not been here, it'd been a different story, probably 200% this year. So it has had an impact, but we've managed to be able to sustain a certain level of growth and stability for extremely turbulent times, you know, when no one had a clue even to go what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think we're extremely well. But yeah, always hold your nerve. Don't take risks, but don't be reckless.
Yeah.
You know.
Be smart about it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you do hear this quite a lot now, especially from some of the younger guys. Don't work hard, work smart. You ain't getting shit with that hard work.
Yeah.
you ain't getting nothing with that hard work.
You need to put in the work.
I would say it's work smart and hard.
Yeah.
And then be smarter as you go along.
Yeah.
I think, you know, some of the gurus and that telling these young kids and that as long as you're smart, you can just work 20 hours a week. Yeah, you ain't achieving nothing. If you go and look at Elon Musk and all that, he'll tell you the same. If two companies start the same journey and one does 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and one works 6 over the course of the year, you're going to left on behind.
Yeah, you're going to double.
And that's what we're all trying to achieve at Platinum Wave Campus. That's what we're trying to hire the best people, the best software, you know, invest all, you know, everything we have back in and stuff like that.
That's amazing. There was huge value there, Danny, so really appreciate that. That was part one. Join us on part 2. We're going to talk 3 top ways to generate more customers, which obviously equals sales.